immortal Saviour, thou most worthy Judge eternal, suffer us not, at our last hour, for any pains of death, to fall from thee.
Rachel?
Oh, Archie.
I'm so sorry.
Rachel had been the only member of the Cazalet family to be with her mother, the Duchy, when she died. The lone daughter of the house, she'd grown up to look after other people, to understand that men were more important than women, to take care of her parents, and to deal with servants who always loved her for the genuine interest she took in their lives.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't explore all the possibilities, Ruth. I just don't think we should do it behind Rachel's back.
Well, the way you put it, Archie, you make me sound like I don't mind about Rachel.
Of course I don't mean that. You love her. We all do.
It was 1956,
I just don't know
more than 11 years since the end of the war, which had so greatly affected all their lives. Hugh, Edward, Rupert and Archie stayed behind after the funeral to make some decisions about the house and Rachel's future.
What I meant was that it would be a good idea to iron out any disagreements before we talk to her. She's exhausted. She doesn't want to have to deal with a lot of bickering relations.
What on earth do you mean by that?
Hugh thinks that we should keep the house at all costs, and Edward thinks that we should get rid of it, and I'm not sure what you feel about it.
Cigarette?
Yeah, thank you.
It all depends what Rachel wants. I think it's for her to decide. And the children love it here.
I know. But who is going to pay for it?
I suppose we could split the costs between us.
Rupe, I have to tell you, I'm afraid you'd have to count me out on that. I simply don't have the dough to promise anything on a regular basis. Money has been rather tight lately.
Oh, my dear boy, I wasn't expecting you to chip in. It ought to be Hugh, Edward, me and Rachel. Your family too, of course, but by marriage, it's not your job to pay for the house. But we would always want you and Clary to come, just as you have always done. The Duchy would have wanted that.
Why do you think Edward's so keen on getting rid of home place?
I don't think Diana likes it very much.
She certainly doesn't seem to take much to the family.
Now, when I came back from France after the war, this was where my mother was. On her knees planting flowers in the garden. I can't imagine this house without us in it.
I don't think any of us can.
Rachel, darling, there you are. I'm quite sure no one would mind if you didn't dress for dinner.
The Duchy would have wanted it.
You're quite right. You've done a magnificent job these last few months. And now you really must take care of yourself, or at the very least allow me to do it for you.
When Sid learned that Rachel's mother had died, the enormity of the change that now lay ahead struck her. She had loved the Duchy, but for so long and so often her times with Rachel had been cut short because Rachel felt that her mother had needed her. Well, now it was over, and at the age of 56, Rachel would be able to call her life her own.
Oh, Sid, I'm not at all the perfect person you imagine me to be. When I think of the poor Duchy, I would have done anything to have made it all easier for her.
I know you would, my darling, and you did. How blessed she was to have you with her at the end. In a little while I shall take you away to somewhere we might walk, breathe good air and watch the sea. What do you say?
But there's so much to be done here.
There will be plenty of time for that. But first you must recover your strength. Now, it's time to go down to dinner, and you must try to eat, if not for yourself, for me. Will you do that?
I don't deserve you, my darling.
You deserve far better than me, but you've given me the best possible motivation to strive to improve myself.
Never change. I would not change a single thing about you.
you remember that old black trunk we had full of dressing-up clothes? Once the brig and the Duchy were giving a garden party. I dressed up as a girl in a heavily beaded pink dress. The kind of thing that flappers used to wear, with a silver lame turban and an ostrich fan. The brig was furious. Oh, but the Duchy simply laughed. Told me to go and get changed and come back to hand round the cucumber sandwich.
Oh, Sid, darling, are you all right?
Perfectly. Just a touch of my old tummy troubles. I think if no one minds, I might have an early night.
Of course. I'll get Ellen to make up some hot water bottles.
We will leave you men to do whatever it is you do over the port.
Good night, Jemima, darling. Ladies.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, do the honours, Archie, old man.
Before we start on things, I suggest we all drink a toast to our dear mother, and Archie to your friend, the Duchy.
The Duchy.
The Duchy.
Has Rachel spoken to anyone about where she wants to live?
All she said to me is that she doesn't want to keep the London house.
Well, it belongs to the firm anyway, Hugh. At least that's something we can sell.
The family timber business had been started before the First War by their father, who was always known as the Brig. As children, the boys learned effortlessly to tell the difference between cocoa and teak, and to marvel at the giant tropical trees that arrived at the yards from distant lands they could only imagine.
I can't understand why you're so keen on selling things. The Brig always said that property was the best investment of capital, and as chairman of the firm I have every intention of following his advice.
The trouble we have with the firm is that there's too much capital tied up in property. We have all these houses, the wharves, and expensive offices to run, when what we need more than anything is cash.
Can we try to think about Rachel and what might be best for her?
Well, Rachel surely won't want to live here on her own. If we sell the house, we can buy her a nice little flat in London.
You surely don't want to get rid of the place where we spent so much of our lives? Where our children grew up? You cannot want to do that.
I'm afraid I agree with Hugh. Even if Rachel doesn't want to live here, we could all chip in and keep the house. For her, for the children. Well, speaking for myself, for me.
Oh, for goodness sake, don't think that I don't care about the house. Diana wants to live in the country, and that will mean my selling the lease on my place, for which I shan't get much, and as I shall be buying somewhere else, well, the fact is I'm fairly strapped for cash as it is, so I'm really not in a position to contribute to any fund for home place. Perhaps we should wait until Rachel has been properly consulted, and well, it's possible the Duchy has expressed some wishes of her own in her will.
Yes, you're right.
Ellen came up with a hot water bottle for each of us. Here you are.
Thank you. How's the tum?
Nothing a good night's sleep won't cure.
Isn't it strange?
What is, my sweet?
There were so many things I never asked her. The Duchy. I know hardly anything about when she was a child. And now I shall never know.
I think we all feel a little like that when we lose someone we love. That there was more we might have discovered, more we might have had to keep, now that they're gone.
We had to go to see every Gregory Peck film as soon as it came out. It was my suspicion she was rather in love with him. And she always cried at music. Makes me feel now that I didn't really know her.
Perhaps it isn't for us to ever know each other completely. You took care of her, darling, and she allowed you to. She cannot have found that easy. Remember, she was the most independent of women. But she let you see her when she was vulnerable. She trusted you, not just as a daughter, but as a friend. And you did everything marvellously. How wonderful it was that she should die here, surrounded by your love and understanding. You not only won her love, darling, but her respect. She might never have said so. But we all saw it. That is why she chose to be with you at the end.
Rachel.
Help me out of my shirt, will you, darling?
Jemima pulled the second sleeve off Hugh's shirt over his black silk stump. All that remained of the hand he had lost in the trenches of the First War.
Oh, let me rub your neck, darling. You look exhausted.
Jemima had worked for Hugh as his secretary, and the truth was, for a considerable time he'd hardly noticed her at all. He thought he would never love again after the death of his beloved wife, Sybil. But his life with Jemima had been an extraordinary blessing, which he'd marvelled at. She had been widowed in the war, and he loved her 2 boys as much as Laura, their own little girl.
Was it all that talking after dinner?
It's Edward.
Thought it might be.
Our mother has just died, and he's already talking about selling the house. And when it comes to the firm, we can't seem to agree on anything. What he fails to understand is that I'm trying my level best to do what the brig would have wanted.
You are always trying to do what's right. And it's a difficult time, I know, but tonight I think you should come to bed. You're worn out, and you don't want to get one of your heads.
Hugh looked at his wife standing barefoot in her white cotton nightdress, with her golden bobbed hair, and felt an absolute joyous longing for her.
Darling Jemima. I simply cannot imagine my life without you.
And with no more words, they went to bed. What a day, Edward thought as he got out of his clothes. He wasn't feeling good. The usual touch of indigestion, plus a general feeling of malaise. He was used to being popular, charming and liked. Being in a minority about things didn't suit him. If only Diana had taken more to Home Place, they might have lived here, and the family could have stayed whenever they liked. But she was determined to have her own house, and he couldn't see her wanting much of the family in it. He dropped an Alka-Seltzer into his tooth-glass. That usually did the trick. He thought of his brother again. Since being elevated to chairman, Hugh's obstinacy, always a key factor, had worsened. He seemed utterly oblivious to the firm's financial dangers, determined not to listen. It really was impossible to get through to him. Edward opened the window, and the night air assailed him. It was heavily scented with the flowers the Duchy had planted for that purpose. I shall never see her again, he thought. Without anyone, without Diana, he was finally able to mourn her.
This is it.
Are you sure, darling?
Yes, there it is.
Diana had certainly pulled out all the stops. Once she started getting in touch with house agents, information about houses had poured through the letterbox every morning. All Edward had stipulated was that it must be within reasonable distance from London, as he was going to have to commute.
It looks marvellous. I can't wait to see it inside. Oh, darling, it's perfect. Don't you think so? Do you think we could open the French doors?
Oh, let me try, darling.
Oh, a walled garden. All my life I've yearned for one.
Diana remembered the horrible little cottage she'd been forced to live in when Jamie was still so small and Susan no more than a baby. Edward was at Home Place with Villy. She thought he would never leave her. For years she'd endured the loneliness and cold, the awful feeling of being cast out, central to no one's life.
You sure you want it, darling?
Oh, I do. And you do too, don't you?
If you want it, it's yours.
Our house! Our first real house! Oh.
She kissed him, and all his earliest feelings for her returned. He'd got his old Diana back.
Mummy.
Louise?
You didn't tell me you were coming.
It's been so long since I've seen you. I was in town doing some shopping for Miss Millamant.
Oh, well, do come in.
Louisa's theatrical career had come to nothing, but she was tall and thin, with reddish blonde hair and an undeniably beautiful face.
What on earth is that smell? Oh, we hardly notice that now. It's the poultry shop downstairs. The flat always smells a bit of various dead birds.
Is that your lunch on the table?
Mummy, those mackerel are at least a week old. Somebody we know is painting a still life and he wants us to keep them until he's finished.
It was 9 years since Edward had left Villy, and she had managed to carve out some sort of life for herself.
I'll make tea. I think there's some milk.
Thank you.
The dancing school Villy had started with Zoe had faltered and finally shut down.
Mummy, I'm afraid there isn't...
Roland was away at public school, but Miss Millamant, the girl's old governess, was still with her. She saw little of Louise, other than duty visits, where she made small talk, was utterly unforthcoming about herself, and occasionally did her best to shock.
You really have seen everything we've done with the flat now. I told you it wouldn't take long.
How do you manage with the rent?
I do have Stella to share it with. It's quite cheap. Only £150 a year. But I have a rich lover now, so, you don't have to worry about me.
Is that wise?
I'm not allowing him to keep me or anything like that.
Well, please don't mention this in front of Miss Millamant when you come over to the house.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Going home on the bus, Villy was struck afresh by her awful loneliness. She realised she had no idea what her daughter did to earn a living. Perhaps Edward was paying her rent. At least that would be respectable. She couldn't talk to Miss Millamant about it, with all the business of lovers and sex. But a few weeks later, it was Miss Millamant who elicited the facts.
What are you doing these days, dear Louise? Thank you, Viola.
I'm modelling, Miss Millamant.
Ah, very interesting. Are you using clay? Oh, perhaps you're cutting stone. I have always imagined the latter would be very hard for a woman.
No, Miss Millamant, I'm doing photographic modelling. Magazines, you know, like Vogue.
Yeah.
Miss Millamant thought that magazines, excepting the Royal Geographic Societies, were generally for people who found reading difficult.
That is most interesting.
Do they pay you?
Of course, 3 guineas a day. But when you're freelance, you never know how much you're going to get. I must go, I'm afraid. I have to pack. Dad's asked me to go to Italy with them. 2 weeks and he's paying for everything. He's taken a villa in Ventimiglia. Goodbye.
It was a careless parting shot. She can have no idea how that makes me feel, Villy thought, as she closed the door, instantly engulfed with stomach-churning waves of bitterness and rage. Their honeymoon had been in Cassis. Except for the difficulty of so much sex, which she neither wanted nor understood, it had been a golden time. Then after the war, Edward had urged her to find a smaller house, before he abandoned her in it.
Viola, my dear, I'm afraid I have a confession to make. I knocked over the cup of tea you so kindly brought me this morning. I was asleep, and I have no idea why, but I thought it was the afternoon, and I was feeling for the switch on the lamp. Of course, if it had been the afternoon, the tea would not have been there. I felt I should tell you.
Oh, there now. You really mustn't worry, Miss Millamant. Anyone can spill a cup of tea.
But later, in bed, Billy realised that this was the third tea-spilling incident this month.
Do you have to do that while I'm trying to do the washing up?
Just cleaning my brushes, darling.
You can do that any time. I have to get everything done before the children get home.
It's hours before they get home.
And before then, I have to wash everything up, make the beds, buy us some food, cook it, light a fire, make the boiler work and feed Bertie's rat.
I'll help you.
You're going out!
I'm sorry, it might be work. Someone wanting a portrait.
So go!
Clary and Archie had been finding it ever more difficult to make ends meet. 10 years of marriage and 2 children had wrought a sea change from their early carefree months together, when she had written her second novel, to the arrival of first Bertie and then Harriet. Even with Archie's part-time job at the art school in Camberwell and Clary's proofreading, they were still chronically short of cash and behind with their bills. These days she had neither the time nor the energy to write.
Why don't we take that week away? It would be marvellous rest and cheap as well.
4 of us going on the ferry and then hiring a caravan. You just want to go to France.
Yes, of course I want to go to France. Clary, darling girl, I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about?
Oh, don't cry.
Sometimes I think you might wish you'd never married me.
You are my darling. You always will be.
You wouldn't rather have married Polly?
No, I think not. Let's go away. I'll take the children out on long walks and swimming and generally tire them out. And you can write. In the evenings we can find little places to eat. So you agree?
All right. Now you better go. You'll be late.
What do you make of all this business in Suez? Rather ham-fisted, wouldn't you say?
You mean you don't think we should be trying to hold on to it?
What no one seems to be taking into account is that the canal, if I'm not mistaken, does actually belong to the Egyptians.
We paid for it, Ed, along with the French.
Well, I think there might have been some attempt at negotiation.
Edward had taken Hugh to lunch at his club, the Royal Thames in Knightsbridge. They'd been arguing for months about having too much of the firm's capital invested in property. Each time Edward felt he'd got somewhere, when the subject was raised again, he found nothing he'd said to Hugh had seemed to have sunk in.
If you insist on us keeping Southampton, we ought to be seriously considering who's going to run it. It's a shambles as it is.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What about MacIver? He's been with us for, 25 years at least. Thanks.
Yes, I know that old boy, but he's not a Cazalet. We must have a member of the family. We must have a Cazalet running the show.
Well, why on earth must we do that?
Because we're a family firm. Actually, I was rather hoping that you would take it on.
Oh, God. Out of the question, I'm afraid. I've made an offer on a house in Hawkhurst. I couldn't possibly commute from there. Diana has a heart set on it. How about Rube?
Well, you know he's not the most decisive person in the world. I'm afraid it wouldn't do.
No. You're absolutely right.
They agreed to talk about it again, something they often did, which added to Edward's frustration. It seemed like they never actually made any clear decisions about anything.
Marvellous game pie they do at your place. I'm afraid we tend to get nursery food at mine. Goodbye, old chap.
Goodbye.
Thanks again.
As Hugh walked away, Edward thought about how close they used to be, and it cut him to the heart. Hugh seemed determined not to alter his position on what should be done about the firm, and he would have nothing to do with Diana, due, he felt sure, to some sort of misguided sense of loyalty to Villy.
Bertie, Harriet, come inside.
Can I have some coffee, darling?
I went to an expedition, but I didn't find anything. Bertie jumped in puddles all the way home.
Bertie, your sweater is soaked through. Come on, let's get it off.
Have you got Mrs. Carrots?
Oh, I'm afraid I forgot.
The crossing on the ferry had been rough, and both the children had been terribly sick.
Have you had anything?
Clary had done what she could to sponge them down, and Archie had found them some lemon barley water. But they arrived at the caravan tired out, and then it had started to rain.
Is that toast for us, Dad?
No, it's for a very nice donkey I met down the road. He wants toast and jam and says if I don't bring it straight away, he'll come up here and make a dreadful fuss.
He didn't say that.
How would you know? You weren't there.
You mustn't forget to feed Rivers, Mum. It's really important.
Oh, he gets lots of food, darling.
That's not the point. Rats are always terribly busy in the wild. The carrot is to stop him being bored.
Oh, Harriet, come here. Your hair's wet.
You care to be seated, ladies and gentlemen?
Is it possible to have a hard-boiled egg, but not in a sandwich? Or if it isn't, Rivers could have the bread part and I could have the egg.
Come and drink your coffee, darling.
Rats like coffee too.
Rivers is not having a coffee, Bertie.
Oh, Mum, he'll never learn to like things if you don't let him try. You know that because you say it to me all the time.
The worst part had been the evenings. There was no division between the beds and the rest of the caravan. They tried making love once, but it felt constrained and abandoned the idea. Clary had not been able to do any writing, and now the holiday was almost over. She was beginning to think she would never write anything again.
I'm sorry, Twine, but I can't say I completely understand you.
Your lease for the existing property, when sold, will not provide enough money to cover the new mortgage, Mr. Edward. You will need to release a substantial amount of capital to cover the shortfall, if you feel sure you want to buy this house.
Well, of course I'm sure. Look, I know all this, but I'm hardly likely to be moving again, and my wife has fallen in love with the place. So just do whatever it takes to make it possible. I'm sure there's some money that can be moved about to cover it. Houses always seem unaffordable when one is about to buy them.
Very well, Mr. Edward. As you wish. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Edward thought again about his conversation with Hugh. The poor old boy simply could not understand that where the firm was concerned, at some point they would simply run out of options. He had to find a way to get through to him before it was too late.
Louise, darling, do be careful not to overdo it. This sun is terribly hot.
Dad?
Like me to do your back?
Yes, please.
Louise had been invited to visit her father, who was on holiday in Italy. The party consisted of Edward, Diana, and Diana's brother and his wife. Edward was paying for all of it.
Where are the others?
They've gone for a swim.
But not you.
I didn't feel like it.
Something's worrying you.
Well, yes, it is, rather.
Oh, Dad, you can confide in me. You know I won't tell anyone.
I know that, darling, but there's nothing you can do, I'm afraid. It's money. I'm running out of it. I had no idea how much food and everything else would be. Then there's all the expense of driving back. I wasn't allowed to bring any more cash out than I have. I haven't told Diana because she'll think it's all my fault, which, of course, it is.
Dad, my friend Stella is having her holiday with an aunt and uncle who live in Nice. She gave me her telephone number in case we went there. I bet she could get you money.
Oh, really?
Tell me how much you need and I'll ring her.
Oh, could you, darling? That would be marvellous.
It all worked out wonderfully. Stella could bring the money the following day. She could take the train from Nice to Ventimiglia, and Louise was to meet her at the station.
Ice, darling?
Yes, please.
I'm ready, Dad.
I'm just going to drive Louise to meet her friend.
Didn't Antonio say there's a bus that goes every hour? She can take that.
But, darling, really, I think I ought to...
I promised the others you'd go to the beach with them. You didn't yesterday. Honestly, it really is the least you could do.
Louise, darling, take this. You might want to get something on the way.
Thanks.
Stella! Stella, over here!
There you are.
Oh, goodness, it is lovely to see you. Oh, it's jolly kind of you to come all this way. Really, Stella, you are a good friend.
It was a relief to get away from the family for a bit.
Oh, you look hot as anything. Let's get a drink in that cafe over there before we get the bus.
Ah, Louise, Stella, there you are. Thank you so much for coming to see us. This is my wife, Diana.
How do you do?
Hello. Louise, I'm so sorry. There really is very little room around this table. I thought you girls could have a picnic in the garden. If you go to the kitchen, Marie will tell you what to take.
Without another word, Louise hooked her arm around Stella's, and they left.
I'm so awfully sorry. There's always been room for me. They could easily have made space for one more.
Maybe it's because I'm Jewish?
Oh, don't.
Really, Louise, I'm just as happy sitting out here. I think I prefer it, actually.
Louise had been offered a tray with chicken and salad for lunch. There was no wine, so she took a bottle anyway, and they sat under a tree in the garden to eat it.
You're my best friend, and my father knows that. You've wasted a whole day of your holiday to help him. Your family have always been so kind to me. I hate feeling ashamed of my father. Him being weak and giving in to her all the time. I hate it. And I hate her.
Well, you can't change either of them. All you can do is accept them as they are and don't let them hurt you.
Easier said than done.
Everything's like that.
Stella thought about her own life, working as a political journalist, while her parents made no effort to hide their disappointment that she had not read medicine at university. And the aunts and her mother went on and on about boyfriends and marriage. But at least, in an exasperating way, they cared. Poor Louise had to put up with a weak father, an embittered mother, and that predatory, hostile stepmother.
Have you heard from Joseph?
He hardly ever writes letters. It's funny to think he's only a few miles away.
Really? Where?
A place called, Cap Ferrat.
Ah, the rich man's playground.
He spends 6 weeks there with his wife and children and lots of their friends. Then he comes back all brown and guilty. I try to be horrible to him about it, but I never really pull it off.
It must be a very nice life, getting everything you want whenever you want it.
Oh, he works terribly hard. He's not one of those people who expects things to be handed to him on a plate or anything like that.
I don't really mind about him. I just want you to be all right.
I am. Let's finish this wine. Stella's managed to bring you the equivalent of £500, Dad.
Oh, it's extremely kind of you to come all this way. I'm most awfully grateful to you.
Louise longed for her father to be the dad she knew, the dad he was when he was without Diana. And she was relieved because now he was on his own, and it was all right.
I want to write your family a cheque.
My father's name is Dr. Nathan Rose.
Right. Oh, and could I have his address? I should like to write and thank him. Perhaps you and Louise would like to come to dinner at my club one night when we all get back.
Thank you. That would be lovely.
Well, I expect it's a little dreary for young people, but they do have a very acceptable menu, and the ice cream's always been a favourite with Louise.
Dad!
He put Stella in the front of the car and talked to her constantly.
I must be honest, I would choose a French restaurant over an Italian one any time. I love escargot. I can't bear all this pasta.
At the station, he got out and opened the door for Stella and walked with them both to the platform.
You really have saved my bacon. I can't begin to tell you how grateful I am. Please tell your family, won't you?
I will. See you in Montebree. It's what we call our flat. Goodbye, Stella.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Are you short of furniture, things like that, at the flat, I mean?
Not really. We've got the basics. Stella's father gave us quite a bit.
And what could I give you?
We do have a gas cooker, but it's got a hole in the oven door. We really need a new one. I mean, a new second-hand one.
Well, I'll see to that, darling. I'm sorry about lunch. The thing is, Diana isn't herself. The change of life or something.
Louise decided that when she got it, and it wouldn't be for years and years, she would be especially nice to everyone. It wouldn't be an excuse.
How's your love life?
I met this man ages ago at one of the parties Stella always has to go to for her newspaper. His name's Joseph. The thing is, he's married.
Oh.
But I don't want to get married again, so that's all right, even though Stella seems to think it isn't.
I see.
He goes away for ages in the summer and hardly ever writes. I feel a bit blue then.
Then it's a good thing you're with us. I'm afraid that being a mistress is much more difficult than having one, darling.
Dad, everything is all right, isn't it?
There are an awful lot of decisions to be made about the firm just at the moment. I'm afraid I can't seem to put them out of my mind.
When we get back home, perhaps I could bring Joseph to meet you. He knows everything about business. I'm sure he'd have some good ideas.
10 days later, she was taken to the airport at Nice to fly home. Dumped was her word for it. Diana had insisted there wasn't enough room in the back of the car for Louise and the luggage. On the plane, she made a number of resolutions. Never to have another holiday with Diana, never to go to dinner at their house, and only to see Dad without her. They all seemed quite sensible, but they made her feel sad.
Louise, darling. You do look wonderful.
Hello, Dad.
A few weeks later, Louise arranged to meet her father at L'Etoile.
This is Joseph.
Mr. Cazalet.
Oh, Edward, please.
I'm really delighted to meet you.
A glass was produced for Edward at once, and menus for all of them. They were the kind that omitted the prices on those given to guests.
They do the most wonderful fish salad to start.
You sound like an expert, darling.
Oh, we do come here quite a bit.
How would you all feel about a rack of lamb to follow?
Perfect.
Joseph ordered 2 bottles of wine.
The red may be a bit of a gamble. It's a 34 Mouton Rothschild. It may not have come round yet. Yeah, I keep trying it every 6 months or so because it's such a great wine. Your daughter told me you feel about wine much as I do.
He was charming company, and Edward warmed to him immediately.
Louise has told me you have a family business selling timber, and that you own 3 wharves and an office in a pretty posh part of Westminster.
Yes, but in the last few years we really haven't been making enough money.
Oh.
We specialise in unusual hardwoods. My father was the first timber merchant to import them. We used to do quite a lot of business with private railway companies, but since nationalisation, that's got a lot harder.
We're all having to change with the times.
Exactly. We're heavily in hock to the bank. I don't think they'll stand for it much more. I think we should sell off at least 2 of the wharves and find a cheaper office, but my brother Hugh, who's the present chairman, is dead against it.
Well, of course, selling off property is an option, but there is something else you might consider.
Oh, what's that?
Going public. Ceasing to be a private firm. Of course, you'd still be running it, but you'd no longer be responsible for its finances. There would be people put in place to deal with that. And the goodwill is sure to be considerable, so if you did decide to go public, the present directors could walk away with substantial sums of money, plus shares in the new company. Now, I hear you like Burgundy. You must try this. I'll be most interested in what you think of it.
How clever Joseph was, Louise thought. Her father had been looking rather overwhelmed by his radical suggestions, but now he was feeling really good because Joseph had deferred to him about the boring old wine.
Well, perhaps your brother, the chairman...
Hugh.
Hugh, he might be consoled that going public should take at least 2 years, during which property would have to be sold off to pay back the bank and trading would need to return to profit. But I do urge you to consider it. Now is the time. If you leave it much longer, it might be too late.
You think so?
Well, in spite of our Prime Minister telling us we've never had it so good, one cannot be sure how long anything will last. Busts tend to succeed booms, although people never seem to think they will at the time. Pudding?
The men opted for cheese because of the burgundy, but Louise was free to have a lovely large ice cream.
Yeah, I can't think where she puts it all. She eats like a horse and is as thin as a rake.
Dad, you're not driving all the way to Hawkhurst tonight, are you?
I told Diana I'd be back. Oh, yes, I'd better be going. Well, I have to thank you for a most delicious and helpful evening.
Not at all, not at all. And if you want any more advice, do let me know.
Good night, Dad.
Good night.
After Edward had gone, Louise and Joseph were finally alone.
Did you like him?
Oh, darling, of course I did. I could see the poor chap's caught in the usual trap of family setups. So often families are not even the kind of people who are cut out for business.
I am glad you were able to meet him.
But if I loathed him, would you seriously have expected me to say so? Would you? My foolish little rabbit?
Are you laughing at me?
No, of course not. Now, let's order a brandy before I take you home.
The road back to Hawkhurst was virtually empty as the rain started to fall. Edward felt his spirits buoyed up by what Joseph had said. Maybe this could be a way out, if he could just get Hugh to agree. He found himself thinking about all the evenings he had driven in the night to see Diana. It had always been such a comforting feeling, knowing she was waiting for him. Tonight, he'd rather wanted to stay on with Louise in the convivial atmosphere of the restaurant, but Diana had been clear about wanting him back, and there was no point in having a row about it. When he arrived at the house, he saw the lights were still on upstairs. He sat in the car for another 20 minutes before he finally went in.
It would have been perfect to use the Great Hall. It's more than big enough for wedding receptions. But it's simply too cold and run down. We can't afford even to paint it, so I thought about a marquee.
People rather like marquees.
They do, as long as they don't leak in a downpour. Oh dear.
Polly saw a great deal less of her father these days. As Lady Fakenham, she had Gerald's enormous house to run, and she was trying to do it virtually single-handed.
And then we had so many complaints about the food. And in fact, there was only one lavatory that worked. It was all rather a disaster.
I'm sure those things can be fixed, darling.
We must try to make some money somehow.
Spencer, the baby, was the youngest of 4 children. And though Polly loved Gerald dearly, he was not the most practical of men.
I suppose we might sell
It was a long way from her days with Clary in Blandford Street. In fact, she rarely saw Clary anymore. Something she regretted and kept meaning to put right.
I'm afraid it's Spencer's dinner time. Gerald is planting trees on the avenue, Dad. He said to go down and join him if you'd like to.
No, I'd love to, darling. I'll stretch my legs after all that time in the car.
Yes.
Shall I come with you, or would you rather be on your own?
Oh, come with me, Jemima. I haven't seen you for ages.
I remember when my boys were that age. It's so precious.
Do tell me how everything is. I know I get cut off from things.
I'm rather worried about your father.
Oh?
He and Edward aren't getting on. It distresses him far more than it does Edward. Your dear father can be... Well, once he's made up his mind, it's almost impossible to get him to change it.
What do you think he should change his mind about?
Accepting Edward's wife, for one. I think Edward resents him about that, and I don't blame him. But Hugh's still very loyal to Villy. He goes to see her regularly, and then we have to have her to supper. I know I shouldn't say it like that, but they are awful evenings. Villy always gets round to asking questions about Edward, and she calls Diana the Destroyer.
What about Roland?
Well, she won't let him go to home place without her, and she won't go in case she meets Diana there. The poor boy never sees his cousins. He's being brought up as though he's an only child.
Hello, you.
He really is a lovely baby.
We do rather like him. Even Eliza said he was nearly as good as a rabbit. But not quite as interesting.
I wondered whether you could talk to Hugh. I've tried, and I know Rachel has, but he adores you. It would be marvellous if you could make him see.
I don't know if it will make any difference, but I'll try.
Oh, Viola!
What on earth are you doing out here at this time of night?
Oh, I have to get somewhere. It really is most important that I arrive on time. But I seem to have forgotten where it is I'm going. I'm so afraid I shall be late.
My dear Miss Milliman, you're absolutely soaked.
But I need to be somewhere.
Yes! We're expecting you at home. Roland is waiting for you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Making you come out in this terrible weather.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
Oh, I would never wish to be a burden when you've been so good to me. My lovely room, I would like to help.
And you do help, Miss Milliman. You are great company for me and Roland. We are a family, don't you think? Just the 3 of us.
Oh, you are such a good student, Viola.
Now, I'm going to get us a taxi, and then we'll be home in no time.
Miss Millamant was becoming a source of real anxiety for Billy.
Taxi?
She had started to be ever more unpredictable. Getting up at 3 in the morning to make her own breakfast and boiling milk all over the stove and burning the saucepan. Wandering into the street and forgetting her way back. When Billy had offered her a home, she had not envisaged looking after a person with dementia, but that was clearly what Miss Millamant had become.
I have a nice hot water bottle here to warm you up.
Oh.
And a mug of cocoa. Now you must drink that while it's hot.
My dear Viola, I'm afraid that I have a confession to make. I fear I have recently become rather forgetful.
Well, Miss Millamant, I think we all become forgetful as we get older. The great thing is not to worry about it.
Yes, yes. That would be the great thing.
But later, when Miss Millamant was finally asleep, Billy found herself thinking that she would have to keep the front door locked at all times from now on, conceal matches, and what else? She had planned to take Roland to The Bridge on the River Kwai, the new film with Alec Guinness, and then to have supper in a Chinese restaurant in Soho. But Miss Millamant could not now be left alone for such a long period of time. It started to rain again. She drew the curtains and made herself cheese on toast, and sat by the fire to eat it.
Rachel!
Edward!
Sid had not wanted to come out for dinner, but she knew it mattered very much to Rachel.
Sid, this is Diana.
Hello.
Hello, Diana.
The thing that worried her most was that she found it terribly hard to eat very much at night, and was always worried she might feel sick afterwards.
I've brought you a bunch of my mother's roses.
Oh, how sweet of you. It's such a pity they don't really last once they've been picked.
Well, here's to all of us.
Cheers.
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 Sid took an unthinking gulp. She used to love champagne, but the last 2 or 3 times it had given her indigestion. She wondered how much longer Diana would continue to avoid speaking to her. By the time the champagne was finished, dinner was ready.
I think I'd better serve it, Amy. You bring the plates quickly and make sure they're hot. It's crab.
Sid was thinking wildly how she could get out of eating any, while Rachel was asking to be given very little.
I really can't eat too much, and I can see there's more to come.
I'm rather like Rachel in that respect.
But Diana simply behaved as though neither of them had spoken, doling out mountainous spoonfuls of an equal size to all of them.
I got this rather special Sauvignon in your honour. It's particularly good with crab.
Rachel had managed to move most of her crab onto Edward's plate, and was now having a conversation with him conducted so quietly that Sid could not hear it, making it impossible for anyone else to join in.
It's a beautiful house. Did it take you long to find it? Ages. Edward, darling, how long did it take us to find Park House?
Oh, darling, I've no idea. Diana did all the work.
It had to be within commuting distance of London, because Edward seems to have more and more work these days.
The next course arrived. It was venison stew. The casserole stood steaming in front of them. It made Sid feel queasy.
Just a very small helping for me. Rachel and I are used to a very light supper at home. An omelette or a bowl of soup.
Oh, Edward, why didn't you tell me? You said you wanted an especially nice dinner for Rachel, so of course I planned a bit of a feast. Pointless, as it turns out. You might have told me.
Oh, Diana, don't take any notice of Sid. She's always worrying about food, particularly where I'm concerned. The venison smells absolutely delicious. I'm longing to try it.
This was the Briggs' favourite burgundy. It was left to me, and this is the last bottle.
Darling Edward, how very sweet of you.
I hope you're hungry, Edward.
Oh, of course I
Mm.
am.
This wine is really very good.
Rachel began to eat and glanced at Sid, which clearly meant do the same. But the fumes rising from the sauce were making Sid afraid that she might actually be sick, which paralysed her with fear. So in the end she didn't touch anything, and from that moment Diana ignored her.
Edward, what are you two talking about?
Oh, just family matters.
Well, I suppose I'm family now, so could I please join in?
It's a bit complicated. It's more to do with the firm than family, really.
Oh, it's no good, Rachel, old dear. Hugh's not going to change his mind, and he is the chairman, after all.
Oh, I so hoped things might be better between you.
There was a brief silence, during which they all disliked each other. Then everything seemed to happen at once. Diana announced the pudding was a creme brulee. Rachel wiped away a tear and took Edward's hand.
Someone please show me to the lavatory. You better show her, Edward. We don't want her throwing up on the new carpet.
You really shouldn't try to bully people about food, Diana. You should leave it to them.
When Sid returned, Edward was in the hall helping Rachel into her coat.
Darling Ed, I'm so sorry we've been such a nuisance. And since Sid hasn't apologised about being so rude to Diana, please tell her how sorry I am. And remember, you do love Hugh, and everyone has disagreements from time to time.
That would help if he would be civil to my wife.
Of course it would, and I shall tell him. Come on, Sid.
You must be exhausted, darling.
I am.
But how often do we get to sit in front of the fire, just the two of us? Dad, how would you feel if the family had refused to have anything to do with Jemima?
I wouldn't have stood for it. Anyway, they all love her.
Yes, of course. But, you see, I sometimes think poor Uncle Edward might feel that way about Diana. I mean, darling Dad, it isn't so much what you think of her, it's how he feels about her. He has married her, after all.
And what about poor Villy? What about ruining her life?
That's happened, Dad. It can't be changed. It wouldn't actually make the slightest difference to Villy if you met Diana, and it would make all the difference in the world to Uncle Edward. Darling Dad, you're usually such a kind person. Think how awful it would be for me if you didn't approve of Gerald. I'd be miserable. In the end, I might stop loving you so much. I wouldn't be able to help it.
Would you, Paul?
I might.
I'll think about what you said. But you know, it isn't just the Diana issue. The firm is having a bad time, and we don't agree at all on what we should do about it.
The way I see it is, if we can make things better, then we're lucky. Because it isn't always possible, is it?
It's funny how people who are rude call it honesty or plain speaking. There's only other people who are rude. Rachel?
I'm tired and I don't want to discuss this anymore. Why have you stopped?
Why did you betray me like that?
I think you'd better just get on with driving us home.
When they got back, Rachel said she was going to sleep in the blue room. Sid took a painkiller, ate a water biscuit to settle her stomach, and got into bed fully expecting a sleepless night, but fell almost at once into a deep, dreamless sleep. She was woken in the early hours by Rachel.
Darling, I was so horrible to you. I'm so sorry. I must have been a bit drunk. I had far more than I'm used to. Diana was being awful to you, and it was cowardly of me not to stand up for you. I was so angry at Edward. And then I thought, whatever Diana is like, he's married her, and I must try and see the best in her because of him. You didn't want to come anyway. You only did it to drive me. Please, please forgive me.
Get into bed, you'll freeze. It wasn't our best night out exactly, was it?
No, it was awful. How's your tum?
Greatly improved now that I'm not having to eat an entire stag stewed in a gallon of red wine and mushrooms.
Oh, poor Sid.
I'm better now. Much better now that you're here. Close your eyes, my darling. Let's go to sleep.
Really, Clary? What are you doing?
Clary found herself crying over the washing up. She was alone as usual. The children had gone to school, and Archie had one of his teaching days.
Why on earth am I crying?
Now that Archie was getting paid at Camberwell, it meant she could cut down on her proofreading and get on with her novel. But the trouble was she wasn't getting on with it. She was stuck, bored with the people she was writing about and fed up with their silly antics. The children were doing well at school, and Archie was a good, involved father, but he often came back from work too tired to make love, and all he wanted in bed was a cuddle. Once a week she tried to tidy Archie's studio. Several rough drawings were scattered on the floor. She opened the narrow drawer under the rosewood table and was about to carefully put the sketches away when she saw a letter. The envelope said Melanie, and it had not been stuck down.
Dearest Melanie, this is the most difficult letter I have ever had to write. Please, darling, do not think that I have taken this decision easily. I am haunted by your incomparable beauty. You have a face that Holbein would have delighted in, and a lovely spirit so full of the joy of living. But you are 20, my dearest, and at the beginning of your life, and I am an old man in comparison, a married man with 2 children. Quite the wrong person. Though God, how I wish it were otherwise.
Miss Sidney, Alistair Plunkett. Do take a seat. Now, let's start with your age and how you might describe your general health.
50. Until a year ago, I'd say I was very well.
Sid had been feeling tired, and her back ached all the time. She managed to conceal most of this from Rachel, or thought she had, until the morning after they had gone up to London to see the new Audrey Hepburn film, Roman Holiday, when Rachel said at breakfast that she was taking Sid to see Dr. Plunkett today. There was clearly something wrong, and left to herself she would simply suffer in silence.
Do sit up. Miss Sidney, I have an X-ray unit in the basement, and I should like to take some X-rays of your back. I should like them to be taken now, if that was agreeable to you.
Yes. Only, could I go straight down from here? I don't want my friend to know.
Of course. The nurse will take you.
By the time Sid got back to the consulting room, the X-rays had been developed, and Dr. Plunkett was looking at them.
I'm afraid we've found something, Miss Sidney. You have a tumour very near your spine.
I see.
Obviously, the worry is that it could be cancer. It's a great pity you didn't come to see us earlier. I want to send you to the Marsden for more tests. Meanwhile, are you taking anything for the pain?
Just rather a lot of aspirin.
I think we could do better than that. I know it's something of a shock, but we can't be completely certain of anything until we get you checked out.
Thank you. May I tell my friend that the other test's for my heart or something? I can't tell her the other thing. I simply can't.
My dear, you can tell her anything you like. Do you live alone, or are you sharing a house together?
We share.
Well, sometimes, you know, people are better off with the truth. But it's up to you, of course.
Hello? Where are the children?
Dad and Zoe said they'd have them. I found this in your studio. I was tidying up, putting some drawings away. I know I shouldn't have read it, but I'm glad I did.
Oh, Clary. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm so very sorry, my darling. I wasn't going to tell you because it's over, finished, done with.
So all these weeks of lying don't count for anything?
Of course they do, but I desperately didn't want to upset you.
Upset me?
Dearest Clary, I know you may find it impossible to believe, but I do love you. I'm so sorry that I've exposed you to all this. It's my bloody carelessness.
It's not your carelessness. It's what you've done. You've fallen in love with someone else and lied about it.
But you can see from the letter that I'm giving her up. You don't seem to have taken that in.
Being responsible, duty and all that doesn't change your heart. You're in love with her. Incomparable beauty. A face that would have delighted Holbein. You love her.
And I love you, dearest girl.
You can't have two dearests.
It's something I've discovered, actually. You can love two people. I didn't know that until now.
I could never love two people at once. I don't believe that.
You need to know I never slept with her. Nothing like that.
You didn't?
No. Oh, my dearest God, I'm so terribly sorry.
I thought that...
I know. Here. Try to drink this. We always sit in the kitchen. Why do we do that? We have a lovely studio overlooking our nice wild garden.
You didn't want the children playing with your paints?
Didn't I? All I had to do was put them away. We could have sat there in the evenings all together. How stupid of me to have wasted it.
One time Bertie pulled your palette down and did extensive finger painting all over the sofa.
You never told me that.
I didn't dare.
There's still some sunlight. Shall we take our wine and go and sit there now?
If you want to.
They sat side by side, with a gap between them, on the battered old velvet chaise longue.
Well, at least we have some daffodils in our garden.
I don't really like daffodils. They seem to me heartless flowers, except the very small timid ones.
I'll get you some of the cowardly little creatures to plant for next year.
Next year? Oh.
Archie was aware that what Clary needed was comfort and reassurance, but he wasn't sure how to give it.
Remember our cottage, where you wrote your first book? You made that tremendous meal for me on Friday night. I drove down expecting bread and cheese and a tale of woe. And you'd cleaned everything from top to bottom, cooked, and told me you were serious about being a writer. I was in love with you already. Had been for months.
I don't know why. I've never known why.
I never thought I'd meet anyone that I could feel so much for. I was afraid to tell you.
And now you feel that way about Melanie.
No. Darling, never. I did feel something, it's true, but nothing like what I feel for you. That's why it had to end. I'm so deeply ashamed of the hurt I've caused you. I'm going to send that letter tonight so that you'll know that this is an end to it. I'll go and post it now. Do you want to come with me?
No. No, you go.
I'll get us something to eat on the way back.
All right.
I won't be long.
The meze looks good. I know you're not terribly hungry, darling, so I thought this might be the right kind of place.
Sid's mind had been racing since they left the doctor's office. Visions of the future bombarded her. It had seemed to her that the doctor had assumed she was almost certainly going to die. And before that there would be awful things to endure. Radiotherapy, chemotherapy, operations. Why on earth hadn't she been to the doctor earlier? Because she had been afraid of what he might say.
Sid, darling, tell me, how did it go with Dr. Plunkett?
He's extremely thorough. He actually did an X-ray of my back.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Yes, darling. He wants me to have a few more tests, and he's arranging that with the hospital.
Oh.
He gave me a prescription for when I have pain. He was very kind. It all went very well.
Good.
I think it means I'll have to stay in London for a few more days, but you can go down as planned, and I'll join you.
I wouldn't dream of leaving while you're here having tests.
But you have to be at home place to deal with the builders. As a matter of fact, I'd rather be on my own. You know, I can't bear fussing.
I wouldn't fuss.
Darling, I'd simply rather get this out of the way, and then we'll be together in a few days. I promise.
Somehow she got through that awful day. They went to see an old French film showing at a cinema in Baker Street, Le Jour se lève, with Jean Gabin. Rachel was to go down to Home Place the next morning, and the tests were arranged for 2 days' time. I shall be able to pull myself together by then, she thought. And as the doctor had said, they were not yet at the place where they could be certain of anything, let alone what it might mean.
Yes, I'll tell Daddy.
My God, is it Clary?
Good night, darling. Be good.
Sorry.
I will. And don't forget to brush your teeth.
I
wanted to speak to the children.
They all right?
Yes. Except they want a dog. 2 dogs, actually. I told them I'd think about it. I remember how maddening that think about it thing was when we were children. We always knew it meant no.
Why don't we get them a kitten?
2 kittens. They'll want 1 each.
Well, we should get them when we go to Home Place at Easter. One of the farmers nearby is bound to have some.
After that, constraint set in. They were both trying to be normal, but it wasn't possible. They were bone-tired and longing for oblivion. Later in bed, he told her he loved her. But when he tried to kiss her, she turned away, and he only managed to kiss the side of her forehead. He woke in the night because she was crying.
It's only a dream, my darling, just a sad dream. You are my dearest girl.
And soon after that, they both finally slept.